Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going over the products I have chosen from my Shop My Stash for March. I have been trying these products for almost a month now and I can tell you what I think of them. These are the products. I also applied this face. This face with all these products, so I will be having a split screen if I can figure out how to do that. A split screen with me applying these products so you can see a little bit of a demonstration from them as well. Then I also pulled a box for April. Unfortunately, my beauty room is not complete yet. It's not totally finished yet, so I can't really take you into my collection because I haven't put everything back to where it should be. Or in a new home even. So I just pulled some products and I'm going to show you at the end what I'm going to play with for the month of April. But now let's get into these products and let me tell you what I think about. I'm just going to start off with the base. I have this e.l.f. Body Primer. I have been trying this for a full month and I'm in love with this stuff. I am in love with this stuff. I have the biggest problems with my pores, especially on my nose, and this covers it phenomenally. I have noticed that if I use it a little bit too much, then I can get too oily, and I have a bit of an oily T-zone, but nothing extreme. But if I use too much of this, then it gets a bit too oily. So it's just me not using it properly when it doesn't work. But other than that, it works perfectly, really perfectly. Every foundation I have like a little bit of trouble with collecting in my pores. If I put this under it, no problem at all. It also showed up in my favorites for this month or this last month. So yeah, big success this month for me with this one. So yeah, great. Then I have been trying this foundation. This is the Fenty Beauty in the shade 185. It's the Pro Filter one. It's the one that came out, I think, in the whole foundation Armageddon type of thing last year. And I must say, I really like it. I'm wearing it today. It's, for me, on my skin tone, I don't really need to set it. Or my skin type, I'm sorry, my skin type. I don't have oily skin. I have fairly normal complexion. Not too drying, not too oily at all. So this is something for me, I don't have to set it. Sometimes I set the like around here because then it's just easier for me to blend in my like bronzer and blush and stuff like that. If I use a bronzer that skips. But I have been using this unset as well and I put some bronzer over it and it worked fine. So I must say I really enjoy it. It's not something that I could say is really a favorite, and that is because it's very skin-like in the sense that I don't want to say that it emphasizes anything because it doesn't make my pores larger or texture larger. It's just that it doesn't really blur anything. It's really like a second skin, and I must say that I don't really mind that. It's just that it's not my favorite because I have foundations that I think wear a little better on my skin than this one. But I really like it, and I must say that the shaded 185 shade is a really good match for my skin tone. And I think that is a very big compliment to Fenty in general because they have like the best shade ranges, I think, because seriously, it's spot on for me in my like winter complexion, but I don't really get that darker in summer. But yeah, I really love it. Then I'm going over to my concealer. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD concealer. This is a little bit like, the thing is, if you see it in the tube, you would say it's like a very good shade for me. But it's a bit yellowish on my skin. I hope you can see it in the split screen when I'm applying it. It's a bit too orangey yellow, but because of that, I think it covers my circles really nicely. It blends out really nicely. It is a self-setting concealer, but I do set it, and the reason for that is because otherwise my mascara will transfer on my lower eyelid. So that's lower eyelids on my in this part. So that's the reason why I set it. Not every mascara does that, but just to be safe, I set it a little bit with just some setting powder. I really enjoyed this. It's not overly hydrating, but I don't think it is too drying either. And I have a lot of lines under my eyes. In the beginning, if you use too much, it will crease, but if you don't use too much, if you just put a nice light layer, then it doesn't crease. What I did that really helped when I put on a little bit too much was just keep patting it in with my beauty blender until it was totally set, and then it could crease, but just teensy amount. So yeah, I would say this is self-setting and I really enjoyed using it. It's just not a holy grail yet because it's a teensy bit too dry. Then I pulled 2 eyeshadow palettes. I have been playing with the Go and Coconuts and with the Vizier. This is the Petite Pro 3. I'm going to start with the Go and Coconuts. Very easy, very easy to work with palette. The shades blend very nicely. The color story is very obvious. You can make very nice, a lot of different looks, but very wearable, you know, neutral looks with this. So I really enjoyed this. It wasn't like a very complicated palette. The shades work really well. They blend nicely. The shimmers show up without needing anything like an adhesive. The only thing this is a really nice shade, but it's a topper shade, so it's extremely flaky. It goes everywhere, this one as well, but especially this one. And I would have liked it because this is also very shimmery and very sparkly and flaky, this didn't have to be also. So if they had like a more satiny type of formula for this one, this would be my perfect neutral eyeshadow palette. But as it is right now, I really like it. It's one of my favorites. It's in my March favorites and fails as well. I really adored this palette and it's so easy to travel with. So yeah, very high ranking. This one, I have to say, was a little bit of a disappointment. You can, I think, see it in the demo. I hope you can see it in the demo. What is happening is that you see the matte shades, they blend out very nicely, and I must say they wear very nice all day long. I have been wearing this, I think, 7 times, something like that. I've been using all of the shades. I really enjoyed these green, this darker green and this like shimmery green. These 2 shades really performed really nicely. The rest, they do perform nice, but for this and this shimmer, you really need an adhesive, or you need to wet your brush, or use your finger. This I used today as a line. I really had to stamp it on like a few times before you could really show it, or before it really showed up. And these 2, yeah, they perform nicely. They stay on the eye nicely, but they're just, you know, transition shades, so they're not that special. So it's not like it's a bad palette. It's just a little bit of a disappointment because it's Vizier and I always somehow expect something more, you know. And this was just you can work with it, but I don't want to have to work with it. This one was really easy. This is Colourpop. This is Vizier, and I really had to pull some tricks to make it work for me. So having said that, when it's on your eyes, you know, when you use a like eyeshadow base, stuff like that, eye primer, stuff like that, if it's on your eyes, it stays on the whole day and it stays nice. It doesn't fade. It's quality. It's just not one of my favorite Viziers. Let me just put it that way. Then I'm going over to mascara. I have tried this Climax mascara. This one, this is the one that's like a slightly hourglass shape, but very little. Very slight, but yeah. When I first got this, I got this in a Look Fantastic NARS box. When I first got it, I was really interested in this one because it got great reviews, and I think because it was so hyped up, I had more expectations of this one. So at the beginning, I was not impressed. I let it be for a while, and then I pulled it for my Shop My Stash. I've been using it a little bit more. And I'm going to tell you what I like about it. What I like about it is that the formula has dried down a little bit now, so it just performs better on my eyelashes. It separates the eyelashes really nicely. You can get the bristles of the brush into your eyelashes very nicely, so every eyelash gets coated. So I really like the brush. I do like the formula. The only thing, And that's just a personal thing. I lack volume. What I need for my eyelashes is to make sure that there's more volume at the base mainly. So I use liner, stuff like that, but at the base I need volume. And then I need a mascara that coats all my lashes, because the length is there. It's just that I need some more volume, and I don't think that this really was really quite there. So it's a nice mascara. It's not something I would buy again because it's quite expensive, you know, being NARS. So I don't think I would buy it again. It's not but I don't want to say it's a bad mascara. It's just not something, yeah, I would buy again. Okay, next up is my Colourpop bronzer. I have bought a single one. This is in the shade Spectacle. As you can see, it's not too dark, but I really like a bronzer that is not too deep, because if it's too deep, it's going to be, too much on the cheek. So I don't really like that. I like to have like a bit of dimension. So I like my bronzers to be just a tad cooler and not too bold right out of the gate. I like to build it up, but I don't like to have like a very, very bronzed look, like J-Lo look. I don't like that. That's not me. The reason why I don't really like very pigmented bronzers is because I can have a bit of a heavy hand, and I can have that with this one, because you have to really build it up to show up, and I really love that because it's very good for nose contouring as well. I never do that, but you can use it for nose contouring. When I do, I really like to use this one. I've just really enjoyed using this bronzer because it blends out very nicely, and as I said, you can go heavy on with this. So this is the Spectacle single shadow. I just bought a compact for it. It's the Spectacle shade from the Colourpop pressed powder cheek bronzers. Then I have tried this Fenty Kilowatt highlighter in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. Stunning, stunning highlighter. You know, it's a very classic one. I think everybody has talked about it right now, as a lot of these products, but this is like a cult favorite, I believe. And what I really love about this is that you have these two shades. You have like, ugh, no, dang it, I gouged it. But on this side you have like the more, you have like the more subtle side, and here you have more of the like sparkly bits. So what I tend to do, I start with this one, I really blend it into my onto the places I really want to have it, and that's like here, because the light naturally falls here, and then I put a little bit up there, really blend it in, and then I take a softer brush and I go in with this one if I really want to, because I don't even do that every time I use this highlighter. But then I take a softer brush and I go very slightly into this, and I just put it on the high point. I've done that today, and I think that combination is really nice and really sweet and cute for like spring, summer, and yeah, I've really been enjoying this highlighter. Then I have two last things, and this is the It Cosmetics Brow Power. It's a pencil, but it's a special shape, as I showed you, I think last time I tried to show you as well. It has this like teardrop type of shape, and the shade they say is universal, but it's this type of a shade. Well, maybe I should swatch it a little better. Okay. I've really built up this swatch, but as you can see, it's not extremely warm. And especially because I built it up right now, that is why it's really warm. But it's quite a cool toned pencil. And as you can see, I've been wearing it today. It gives off a little less color than Precisely My Brow pencil. So you have to go through your brows a little bit more often than with the Precisely My Brow. But I must say, I don't really mind it. It's not necessarily a favorite yet. I really have to use it a lot more. I somehow didn't reach for this one a lot. It was one of the reasons why it was in my Shop My Stash, but somehow I didn't reach for it anyway. Maybe I should try to pan it or something, then I would really use it a lot. So, but when I use it, I really enjoyed it. It's very easy to use. It doesn't pull on my hairs. The Goof Proof one really pulls my hair, so I lose eyebrow hairs, and who wants that? Like seriously, don't pull out my hairs, please, thank you. And then the spoolie is really soft, and that is something I really enjoy, because somehow I don't want to say that I get dandruff into my eyebrows, but the skin around my eyebrows is quite dry, so I need to exfoliate that a little bit more and like prime my eyebrows. I do that with the Bravo from Benefit. I prime them a little bit, and if I go in with a somewhat harsher spoolie, then it tends to like gather like dust particles and maybe some old skin. I don't know. It sounds a little gross. It is gross to me, so yeah, I really like that this spoolie is a little softer, so it's softer on my skin as well. And then I have been trying this clear brow gel from the Brow Gel, and I must say I really enjoyed this product. For me, what I really like about it is that when I am done doing my brows, the only thing I want to do is set them, and I don't need to color them anymore. And this is the first clear eyebrow gel I've been using since years, and I must say I really enjoy it. It's just a very big spoolie. At the beginning of the month I noticed I had to dip it in a few times because, I don't know, it's just it doesn't, you know, distribute a lot of product, which I like, because I like to build up products instead of having to take it away, because that's always a lot more difficult. And then yeah, so I really like the fact that it's this big and it's also really soft. So I must say I really have enjoyed this, and it sets my eyebrows perfectly fine, like any other brow gel I have ever used. So I really have been enjoying using this product. Alright guys, and then it is time for the box for April. I'm going to go through these very quickly because I'm going to talk about them a lot more when I'm done trying them for a month. The first thing I pulled, this is a funny box because I have Catrice and I have Tom Ford. So it's like both ends of the spectrum. I have this Prime and Fine Poreless Blur Primer. I really want to try this because I have been using the e.l.f. one, and I have bought this because I did a full face of Catrice. I will link that up there. It's a very old video, so the lighting isn't this great, but you know, bear with. So I really want to try this because it's been in my collection for quite a long time, and I think I should really get some use out of it. Then I also pulled the Bare Minerals Original Foundation. This is the powder one, as you can see. I got this in Golden Fair 04, and I've been trying to use this a little bit. When I first bought it, I think like, well, probably a year ago, something like that. And I haven't been grabbing for it. For me, it's a very weird one to work with. So I want to try it a little bit this month a little more, and decide if I want to keep it into my collection or if I'm going to try to ban it or just give it away or anything like that. So this is going to be something I just want to get to know a little bit more this month. Then I have some complexion stuff from NARS. I wanted to pull some NARS stuff again. Don't know why, just wanted to do that. And the first thing I pulled is this mini Orgasm blush. I really like the color for spring, so I really want to work on this. And then also I got this mini Laguna. It's the classic shades from NARS, and I really want to get to know this one a little bit more, so I pulled these two as well. Then I have the Skin Glazing Amnesia highlighter from Nabla, this one. These are not that old. I think they launched a few months ago, and they are so beautiful. Oh, I don't think I can show you very properly. Can I show you? It's over here. Can you see it? It has like a goldeny type of undertone, but it's not too dark, and it gives a very nice effect on my skin. But the times that I've used it, it was like, I'm not extremely impressed, but I see a lot of people being really impressed about it. So I want to be impressed. Please impress me this month, please. So let's hope that is going to help me. Oh, I forgot, I also have a concealer. I want to try this Conceal and Hydrate Concealer by Makeup Revolution. I have the shade C4. I had the Conceal and Define one. I thought it was a bit too drying, so I wanted to see if this one is a little bit more hydrating, yes or no. Let's pray that it is, because otherwise I have like 3. Yeah, I think 3. Yeah, I have 3. Yeah, 3 concealers that I don't really like. So let's hope that I really like this one. Otherwise I just have to use it up on my face because, you know, that works as well. Then I have eyeshadow. Bougie the house! I have this Marc Jacobs Iconic eyeshadow palette, and the reason why I pulled this is because I bought it in October 2018, I believe. Yeah, because that is when I went to New York. And this is one of those palettes I had to have, but then never used a lot. So I used this a bit, and the problem for me is that this color story, I really love it, I adore it. I think it's really nice for spring, but the problem is that some of the shades look a little funny on my eyes, or I thought back in the day when I, you know, first got this and used it, I didn't really like how it looked on my eyes. So I want to play with it a little bit more, just to, you know, have a more, like, I hope, positive opinion about it. So I am going to play with this. I also pulled this Colourpop Ladybird Super Shock eyeshadow. Same here. I bought this Super Shock Ladybird one, or I think I bought like 7 or 6 in total during the course of a year or something. I always buy these, but then I'm never really that impressed, so I don't use them again. So what I want to do is concentrate a month on this one a bit, because Ladybird is a very classic shade, I believe. And I really want to, you know, form a proper opinion, knowing that if I should just skip over Super Shock eyeshadows, or if I am just not trying hard enough. So, and I think this Ladybird shade goes well with the Marc Jacobs palette as well. So I'm going to try this with the Marc Jacobs one. And then I have a very bougie eyeshadow as well. No, not an eyeshadow, mascara, sorry. I'm going to try this Tom Ford, I think it's the Flutter. Is it? Oh no, it's the Shutter Lash Mascara. And what this one does is just mainly separate your lashes very well. And I don't, as I said before, I really need volume. And this has been lying around for a while. So I hope this is going to give me a little bit more volume and definition. Because I really liked the definition look of it, but it didn't really give me that much volume. Having said that, if I'm wearing a very light eye, I don't really need that much volume. I just need something to coat my lashes. So maybe this is going to be a good combination with the Super Shock eyeshadow and the very like light, airy color scheme of the Marc Jacobs eyeshadow palette. So yeah, this is going to be in my shop, my stash box. And then I also wanted to try this Tom Ford mini lipstick in the shade Carolyn. I bought this, and then I think I've used it once or twice, because you can still see that TF imprint in there. So I really need to use this more. It's just a shame to leave it there. I'm guilty of buying something really beautiful and bougie, like this little thing, and then on sale. But I buy this and then I never use it, because I think it's such a shame, because it wasn't expensive anymore, but it's an expensive product and it's so pretty and I don't want to use it, but that's just BS. So I want to use this, and I think it is a good shade. I think I can swatch it for you. I think it would be a nice shade to, it's very light. It's over here. It's like a balmy type of texture, but I think it's like a peachy gold, and I think it would be really nice with the Marc Jacobs eyeshadow palette. So yeah, I want to really get some use out of this one. And then the last thing, and this is also something from a drugstore brand, and this is the Physicians Formula The Perfect Matcha 3-in-1 Beauty Water. I just want to form an opinion about this. I have bought it a few months ago, just before my no-buy, and I have been using it a teensy bit, as you can see, but I just want to use it a little bit more and see what it does. It's for all skin types, and it's a 3-in-1 beauty water, and I thought it would be more like a skincare type of deal as well. So I'm just going to see if it's also something that works as a setting spray. So guys, that is everything I pulled for April. That was my opinion on my March products. I hope you liked this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that next time I will be able to take you through my collection. I think so, because the wallpaper is finally going up next weekend, and then I just have to put in my new desk, and then I'm done. And then the new making my beauty room beautiful type of videos are coming. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you will get notified of any new uploads I put up. And yeah, I hope I see you in my next one. Bye!